This is the Dyson fluffy roller for the V6, and there's also some for the V7, V8, V10 models. And I'm going to show how to do regular maintenance and cleaning of this fluffy roller. So I noticed that this one was kind of making a bumping sound, and I'm sure that it needs to be cleaned, and I usually clean it on a fairly regular basis anyways. So the first thing to do is to flip it over, and there's a turn thing here. It's not really shaped for a coin, so it's better to use like something with a flat end on it, but you could try to use a coin. In this case I'm just using a really big screwdriver. So you turn that counterclockwise, and then that allows this piece at the end to rotate. You see the arrow here. You can rotate that down, and then the first thing that comes out, drops out, is this roller. So let's look at this roller first. And the thing you want to do is you want to remove any lint, hair, stuff that's accumulated on there, on the ends. You can see this one is pretty worn there between this end and this end, and putting a little bit of dry lube on there wouldn't hurt to keep that lubricated. I'm going to use the cordless vacuum to clean up the parts. So once you've rotated this all the way, then you can lift it up like that. Let me show you from the side. So you can lift it off like this, and it's likely that you're going to find a lot of hair under here. We got a huge fuzz ball. Grabbing some scissors and cutting this may make it easier to remove. If you have an air compressor too, you can also use it to clean out any remaining dust after you've already cleaned off everything. Next part to remove is this roller. Again, it's likely that you'll find a lot of hair under here. This needs to be cut out. Then we're going to vacuum out a little bit. Some of the stuff is going to be stubborn. You can use some tweezers to pick this out. Since this motor cannot be removed easily, it has to be unscrewed and stuff from the back and wires removed, it's probably a good idea to put a plastic bag over it, because this motor has a seal and it's actually pretty clean and dust free. So if you get too much dust or water or anything, if you're cleaning in there, then it could damage the motor. So let's put a plastic bag over it. I'm going to put a rubber band to seal it off. So I had already started cleaning before thinking about covering this up, because I was thinking about it mainly when I was going to go. I was like, okay, well, I need to probably wash it under rinse it out under some water a little bit first, and then I don't want to get any water in the motor. You should clean it with the bag on there. You need to use a brush that has very firm bristles to be able to clean in here. And once I get most of the dust free, I'm actually going to go to start using some water to clean this out, because some of this dust is held on really tight. You can get in here with a thin frayed brush. You can get in here in these cracks. Want to make sure to clean down this pipe too. A lot of stuff gets built up down here. This area right here is particularly hard to clean. Can't get in there. Probably have to just do it when it's wet. I'll be able to clean up this window a little bit, but it's still going to have a lot of scratches on it. It's not going to look like new. Okay, so at this point, you could probably just go ahead and reassemble it, and it's going to be clean enough. But I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to go and wash it in the sink under some water. And I'm not going to like soak the whole thing. You know, I want to be really careful because there's electrical connections on this side, and there's places water can get trapped. There's places water can get trapped in here, and like I'm not going to put this like underwater. I'm just going to wet the brush, use a wet brush to get the stuff, and then being careful not to get water on the motor. I'm also just going to use a sponge clean in here. And so again, try not to soak the whole thing with water. With this roller brush, the best thing to do is just to kind of dry clean everything. So you can take a moist sponge and pass it behind the motor here. You can see you can reach and actually clean this, almost all this window. If you need some help, you can use a toothbrush to push it back in there and clean out the window there. This blue sponge is not abrasive, so shouldn't scratch it any more than it's already scratched. I'm going to go on this side a little bit. You can take a little paintbrush like this and get in those corners where you can't reach with the other brush if you want to. Okay, once all that cleaning is done, then you can remove the rubber bands in this plastic bag. And even with all the washing with the water, this has stayed dry inside. So the plastic bag and the rubber bands worked. So now we can go ahead and start putting it back together. Make sure the seal is good here and it's clean too. And you can slide the roller brush on here. The larger end of the roller brush goes on first. Smaller end is the outside end. So let's rotate it on there. There we go. And take the smaller brush back here. Put it in like this. The end piece goes on at about 45 degree or so angle from where it's going to end up. And then rotate it in. There we go. The last thing to do is to turn this latch here and lock it in place. Alright, that's it. Brush is clean. The whole thing's a lot cleaner than before. It's no point trying to get rid of all the scratches on here, but it looks cleaner, it looks better, it feels better, it moves better.